Hello and welcome to ImagineFX Painter 2022 tutorial on my personal favorite brush category, oils. In this video, we will have a walkthrough and learn the main differences between a set, and you'll have some tips about the use of these brushes. Oils have been one of the main media for artists all over the century. Many of art history's great hits are materialized thanks to the combination of this chemical paste of pigments and special sets of brushes. Exciting times have arrived as software can now mimic this amazing traditional media. With these additions, a streamlined brush library, you can find some beautiful oils, varying from loaded and wet to thinner washes and drier effects all the way to a touch of Renaissance and the luminosity of Impressionism. Many artists starting out in digital painting or those who are into concept art using more plain brushes and airbrushes may find oils a bit tough for starters because at first they can feel a bit difficult to control and it can be challenging to predict the color's outcome if you don't have a traditional background or you aren't familiar with traditional theories. But once you get used to these tools and understanding how they work, with practice and patience, you can reap incredible benefits and eye-catchy results for your artworks. So let's get started. The first set we are going to explore is Artists. This is your simple, basic, everyday set. You have brushes such as bristles, filbert, flat or round, and some that have only blender functions. These are fairly close to what you can do with a real brush in a traditional technique and have a more of a wet, loaded, oily look. Some of the aspects I love about this set are the beautiful vibrant colors that render with most of these tools, as well as the very nice brush textures, the spacing, the clumpiness and the strands in the brush strokes and so on. The brush that's simply called oily, for example, like Sargent, has a beautiful balance between traditional and digital. This thumbnail painting is a texture study and it was made with the oily filbert. Our second set is Bravoir. This is a whole new category combined with brush dabs that are a bit more expressive in a non-traditional way. Overall, the tools apply drier techniques in contrast to the wet tools of the artists. If you are looking for something edgier and more digital looking for modern style, this is it. Some of these brushes are also blenders. These tools tend to render darker, heavier colors, as you can experience the dry brush strokes do not blend as on the other sets. Some brushes may be loaded, but that fades quite fast, leaving a dry trail, as if you were applying drying acrylics to paper for comparison. For you to have an idea, only a couple of brushes will blend colors, but just a tad, like the oil dabber. Our third set is called General. This is one of my personal favorites together with Sergeant. This is your impressionistic tool set, as it has brushes that are suitable and created for mimicking the various styles of this period. It is also more expressive than the artists, but more classic looking. They render color with greater luminosity and vibrancy. The first brushes even have the impressionist word in their title, so these are great tools to combine among themselves or use them solo. I usually pair up cover and detail, like you see here on this color sketch. Here, the Impressionist rake. Like some other brushes in this set, it changes value and saturation when we apply a brush stroke. In the case of the rake, it makes all of that, plus it also changes the hue a bit out of one single color value. So it's a very nice tool to discover. Our fourth set is called Real Wet. Understand that real wet is not referring to the loaded and wet quality of the artist or sergeant categories. Here, wet refers to watered or washed techniques, or water effect. This is also the case with other media in Painter, such as the watercolors. When using these tools, you can literally see them drying after each brush stroke. Overall, the brushes do not look real as in realistic or natural. They do look more digital and artificial. But they can be very fun, depending on what is it that you are looking for to apply to your artworks. We have some cool auxiliary tools here, as you can add a touch of turpentine, apply some nice effects to your paintings, also a touch of erosion. I would recommend using these with brushes or sets that are more naturally emulating oils for a much more natural result, if that is the direction you are looking for. Overall, the colors will have a more opaque aspect once they are dry. Our final set is one of my top favorites, as mentioned earlier, the Sergeant. It has great brushes with oils and liquid qualities. It is not labeled as an oil category because it features a mix of tools emulating not only oils but also other media such as ink and charcoal. So all brushes here are oily and or liquid to some extent, ranging from basic to expressive. Some other brushes that emulate two or more media within a single brush strokes are oily water and coarse jitter. Several brushes, besides being oily and highly blendable, also have a liquid quality, such as the clumpy, grainy, simple, or liquid sketcher. And remember, you can always combine painter brushes with any different sets or categories. To close this video, my advice for you would be to take time and experiment with the various oil tools. Find and fine-tune the brushes, which will give great artistic expression and beauty to your artworks. Please visit creativeblog.com/ImagineFX for more inspiring articles and videos, and of course, buy your copies of ImagineFX at the newsstand or at a web shop. ImagineFX and I thank you for watching. Bye bye!